Hello and welcome to Ryan Watches a Movie. My name's Adam Patterson. With me today we got Kevin Rakestraw. Hey, Kevin.
Hey.
How are you?
All
right. Fair enough. We're also joined by Ryan Holes. Hey, Ryan.
Balls.
Balls? Is that what you said?
I just want to bleep me out.
Doesn't really work like I can't anticipate when you're gonna swear. Oh my god. If this is your first time tuning in, Kevin and I are challenging ourselves to find movies that Ryan likes in the hopes that we will reach a coveted 10 out of 10. You can join in on the conversation by sending your movie suggestions for Ryan to podcast@filmpulse.net or by sending me a DM on Twitter @FilmPulseNet. If you like the show, or even if you don't, please consider checking out the Frederick's Ataxia Research Alliance website at curefa.org. Ryan, now you wanted like a twisted, messed up horror movie, and you were kind of wanting a foreign horror movie. So what did we give you this week?
Australian called Hounds of Love.
Hounds of Love, yes. This is an Australian movie written and directed by Ben Young. I have a synopsis here. Vicky Maloney is randomly abducted from a suburban street by a disturbed couple. As she observes the dynamic between her captors, she quickly realizes she must drive a wedge between them if she is to survive. Ryan, tell us a little bit about Hounds of Love.
Okay, well, here's the first part I was confused on. At the very beginning, it's a different girl, and like they show a different captain girl.
Yes.
So they show this girl, but they don't show her face or anything. They just basically show that she's chained up on a bed, and you meet the main character. Oh, I can't about yesterday. They never really say her age, but they don't show her dude. So I'm assuming she's under 18, and
sorry, the main person that gets captured, or the one that they show at the beginning?
The main one that gets captured.
I believe she's 17.
So they show her, and they quickly show that her parents were together, but they got separated, and they both kind of don't pay attention to her, and like her dad lets her do what she wants, and you get her a little puppy dog, and when she goes to her mom kind of tells her she can't really do anything. So she dresses up, well, doesn't dress up, but she, air quotes, beautifies herself. And you can tell that she's a young girl trying to look older, a lot older. And after she does that, she ends up sneaking out of her house. And when she sneaks out, this couple pulls up beside her and basically asks her if she wants to get high or buy a drug, and she says yeah. Well, at first she says no, and then she decides to do it. And then they say, well, there's nothing in the car. We'll have to go back to the house and get it. Then she eventually agrees to that. And they ask her if she needs a taxi. And they tell her that they can take her to their house and she can call the taxi from there. And she sees a baby seat in the back and she kind of gains trust on that. Gets in the car. They go to this girl's house and they ask her if she wants a drink. And at first she says no again. Finally agrees on. And the drink turns out to be drunk, and she has to escape, and they corner her and chain her up, and the house in that they can exchange her for ransom money, and they find out all this about their parents. It kind of being separated, and I lost my train of thought.
Well, they told her that they were going to hold her for ransom, but they weren't really going to do that.
Oh, yeah, they make her write a note to her boyfriend and parents, and somehow in the part of her boyfriend, she writes a secret message, and he somehow figures out what's rate she's being held on. And meanwhile, she's being held in the house. She can't really do anything because she's chained to the bed. Ends up paying yourself or paying on the bed. Then the wife leaves to deliver the note that she wrote to her parents and boyfriend. And while she's gone, this is another part of your piece about the guy, I think, ends up raping her or trying to rape her, and she has something, a retainer or something, wedged between the legs and cuts his wiener.
No.
Okay.
Wait, that's not how she shits. She takes a shit.
I'm so confused.
Okay. Let's back it up a little bit. So he does attempt to rape her, but earlier in the movie, she noticed that when their dog took a shit on the floor, he like freaked out about it. Like he was gonna sort of attack her earlier, and then he saw the shit and he stopped. So when he went after her again, she remembered that, so she forced herself to just take a shit in the bed, and that made him back off. So she shit on him.
Okay, all right.
I thought his wiener got cut.
No, that wasn't blood, it was poop.
Okay. Alright, no, I understand. Alright, so the wife comes back and they kind of have an argument about this guy using her. And he tells the wife that the girl got her head, and eventually convinces her to get rid of her, get rid of the girl, and then make her wait another night. And this time, after she's done, she's supposed to take sleeping pills. And while she's writing a note, the mom comes to one of the neighbors' houses looking for her and just constantly yelling her name. And after a while, her mom and her boyfriend, her dad, decided to give up the search. And as that's happening, the main bad guy kills his wife's dog, and I'm getting all confused now.
He kills the dog before the family arrives, but it's around the same time.
And she freaks out, and they have the girl by the throat as her mom is outside yelling her name, and eventually the guy decides to take it upon himself to strangle the girl, and he jumps at her and is like laying on top of her, strangling her, and that's really that the wife stabs him, and he finally feels it, lets go, tries to get up, and just like stands there and kind of takes a few more stabbing, and the the girl escapes from the house and is running to her mom. And the main bad girl confronts her again, and they eye each other up and down. And the girl just runs past her and catches up to her mom, and everyone lives happily ever after.
All right. That was a detailed one you gave there
That was,
today.
yeah, and the main reason I was laughing there in the early parts is because it I don't know the exact number, but it felt like 10 minutes of his description was her getting into the car.
Beautifying herself.
It's just a lot of detail on that getting in the car.
Well, it is an important part of the movie for sure. So what did you think of Hounds of Love, Ryan?
I like it.
I thought you would.
The good guys won for a twist.
The good guys did.
Is that another important thing for you? Coupled with the sick and twisted shit, the good guy has to win.
It's a twist I don't see very often.
Really?
That's interesting. We gotta reevaluate the kind of movies we're giving you here, where the bad guy is always winning.
Did not know that.
The good guys sort of win. I mean, like the main girl does get away. That is true, but not after they killed. This is actually based on a true story, and the real couple killed four girls before they didn't let her go, but she escaped. And of course, she went to the police. An interesting aspect of this movie is the fact that the police seem to not want to help them at all during this whole thing.
And they don't really care. Like, they tell the mom and dad a few times they have to wait 48 hours or whatever. They just act like they don't want to help.
Yeah, so what happened in real life, it was a similar situation. I think that's why they included it in this movie. In real life, when the girl got away, she went straight to the police station, and no one believed her that she was kidnapped and, assaulted, and all of this stuff happened to her. And they ended up passing her off to the only female officer, who was like a rookie at the time, and she was the only one who took her seriously. In fact, I think they should have. I understand what they did, how they did it in the movie, where like the family was looking for her and her mom was looking for her and the boyfriend and all of that. But I think it would have been more. It maybe would have been more impactful if they played it closer to the true story and had her like run to the police station and have the cops be like, because in a lot of ways, like what really happened seems more fictitious than like what happens in the movie.
Well, if I was a cop, I would have a hard time looking at, like, if you look at her face by the end of it, she is all beat up.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're a cop and someone is like in hysterics and they come into your station and they say that they've been kidnapped for the last, in real life, the real life story, she escaped the next day. So they kidnapped her that evening and then she got out the next morning. But still, like, it should be your job to like immediately believe the victim in this situation.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty much your entire job, or should be your entire job.
Right. So I thought that was a really interesting angle of the film. And then of course there was also the fact that it was a married couple, and how like the synopsis says, she did try to play the wife against the husband because clearly he was the one wanting to do all this stuff. And she was just going along with it because, she's like madly in love with him or whatever.
And all he does is play with her head every time he wants something and she doesn't.
Yeah, and he's like, he's just a monster. I mean, he's an absolute monster.
And that was also shown, like, there's a part where they got an ashtray in their house, and the ashtray is all, like, even.
All the cigarette butts.
Yeah, they're all evenly spaced down.
Mm-hmm.
And when his wife makes breakfast, she, like, reorganized everything a few times on the plate. Like, you can tell that he's very odd. Like, he's very into weird, like, I don't know how to say it. I know what I want to say, but I don't know how to say it.
There was also this, like, kind of subplot thing with him where he owed money to all of these people, and they were like, that was an interesting dynamic too, because there's that scene where those guys, that guy comes up to him for the money that he owes him, and he just turns into this like sniveling little twerp.
Yeah.
And then he goes home and he just has complete dominance over, his wife and the young girl that he has chained up in that room. Ew, he was a scumbag. He died in prison, by the way. He killed himself in prison.
Mm-hmm.
He's a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say good, but I feel like that might be a bad karma to say I'm glad somebody died.
He was going to spend.
He was an asshole.
He was going to spend the rest of his life in prison anyway, and the wife, she's actually still in prison. She got a life sentence too. She's still alive, and she's in prison.
She didn't kill him in real life.
No, she didn't kill him in real life. This movie's actually, it's mostly based on that one case, the Bernies were their last name, but apparently there's a couple other murder cases that it drew inspiration from as well.
Mm.
There's definitely some Snowtown vibes to this movie. Like aesthetically, it kind of has that Snowtown look to it, where everything is very gritty and real looking. Like, there's not that much violence, but when you do see it, it looks very, very, very grisly.
And when he's trying to rape her, they don't show it very much of anything, but like her screams, they were just like very. I haven't heard very many screams in a new movie like that.
Yeah, it was pretty. It's a pretty intense movie. A lot of the violence is sort of implied. Like, a lot of it is after the fact. I mean, I think one of the most shocking scenes is that towards the beginning, when the wife goes in after they kill their previous victim, and she's like cleaning up the room. You don't see any of the violence happening on screen, but the fact that you see all of, like, her putting all that stuff in the bucket, and you're just like, oh my God, that must have been an absolute nightmare. And I think in a lot of ways it made a greater impact than, just showing whatever they did to that poor girl.
And then towards the end, the dog comes into play because the guy ends up getting angry. The dog goes to the bathroom on the floor, and 2 seconds later he kills the dog.
Yeah, that was a really hard scene for me.
I didn't like the dog bones.
Yeah, that was a really difficult scene. I like rewatching it I saw it at, I think, Tribeca when it came out, and rewatched it for this, and like I knew that scene was coming, and I was just like, trying to not focus on the screen while that was happening. So does this live up to your insatiable thirst for some sick and twisted movies?
Yeah, all I can.
Now,
Oh God.
now you've seen a decent number of Australian horror movies. Does this give you the urge to check out some more of these movies?
Actually, yeah, it does.
Cool.
It does. All right. Lining them up.
There's some
And
other really good ones that we can pick.
that what's the movie? What's the downtown? No,
Mhm.
Animal Kingdom.
Oh yeah.
Animal Kingdom, yeah.
I watched the American one now on TNT. That movie, watching that movie for you guys, made really into that.
Yeah, I remember. We did have you watch that. And then I know you saw Wolf Creek too, right?
Yeah.
And that's
I don't remember too much about it, but yeah, I remember watching it.
that's also a pretty great Australian horror movie. It's based on a true story as well. A lot
A lot
of
of terrible
weird
things happen in Australia.
Yeah, I was just gonna say a lot of really twisted murders happening out there. This is the directorial debut or feature debut for Ben Young, the director. But after Hounds of Love, he did do Extinction, which was that sci-fi movie on Netflix that came out like in 2018. It's very bad. In fact, I don't even think I finished watching it.
Oh boy, that's not good.
It's the one with Lizzie Kaplan and Michael Pena.
Hmm.
It was not good, but it doesn't like you see Hounds of Love and then you see Extinction, and you can't tell it's even close to being the same director. It completely different style. I'm kind of hoping that whatever his next project is, he goes back to sort of that gritty realism, because I thought he did a really good job with Hounds of Love.
And the fact that this movie was based on a true story, that should make it even more horrible and awesome at the same time.
More horrible and awesome.
Yeah. Like
This
to think about the fact that people in this world can be like that messed up in the head, like that guy clearly was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had a lot of problems.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, he had a lot of problems, that guy. This ended up winning 18 awards the year it came out, including Best Lead Actress for Emma Booth, who was the wife. And that was the Australian Academy of Cinema and Television Arts Awards. Lots of awards for this one, which I was...
Lots of awards. And the opportunity to make Extinction for Netflix.
I know, right? Like, come on. I mean, I hope you got paid a lot of money for it, at least. All right. Any final thoughts before we give you your drum roll on Hounds of Love, Ryan?
No.
All right. What are you going to give Hounds of Love? 9 out of 10. Whoa.
Holy shit.
All right, Ryan. What are you thinking about for next week? Action. All right. Solid. These are always tricky for us, the action ones.
Mm-hmm.
Never really know what to pick for action.
I feel like I'm going between comedy or an action. I just like wording. I don't mean to, but I feel like I am doing it.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Like, you like the genre movies. So do I. What kind of action movie are you feeling?
I'm sick and twisted.
The ones you've been giving me lately have been pretty good. Nothing like good story and good fighting, I guess.
Okay. All right. Kevin and I will discuss it and come up with something.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We're getting really fucking good at this.
We are. I think I already have a couple ideas.
You forgot to bleep him out.
Again, I can't anticipate when other people are gonna swear.
You need a click or raise your hand.
You need to work on that.
I need to think ahead. When's Kevin gonna say fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, I got it.
I gotta imagine it's probably not that hard to anticipate when I'm going to use the F word.
Yeah, not too hard. But also, it only bleeps me, so he would still say fuck, but you would just hear like a bleep coming from my microphone.
You bleep it out when you say normal stuff.
What the fuck?
Oh my goodness.
All right.
Oh my God. I love how he absolutely loses it every time. Insane.
All right. I think that's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for listening. You can send us your picks for Ryan and questions and topics to podcast@filmpulse.net. You can follow us on Twitter @filmpulsenet, @filmpulsekevin, and @mylegsdon'twork. And if you have a minute, consider giving us a review on your podcast platform of choice. For Kevin Rakestraw and Ryan Holes, my name's Adam Patterson. We'll see you next week.
See you later.